is my audio take on The Naked Kiss, 1964, directed by Sam Fuller. The opening cut is in beautiful black and white, this picture, by the way. The opening scene, we have a man who appears to be drunk and a woman, and there's a confrontation going on, and the woman, who isn't drunk, is hitting the man with an object. I'm not quite sure what it is. It could be a magazine or something. But because the guy is drunk, he's easily outwitted by the girl, and she's extremely uptight with this guy. It's in a room, possibly a hotel room, and it appears that they've had sex or something like that. Well, certainly they know each other, and she then takes $75 from the man's wallet, which it becomes evident he has taken from her as part of his cut, and she's a hooker and he's a pimp, and she eventually sort of, because he's in a drunken stupor, overcomes him and then attempts to clean up in the bathroom. We see visual close-ups. It appears that she's lost her hair, we're not quite sure why, and she adorns a wig as she recaptures her attractive persona, and then she leaves. Next we find her getting off a bus in what we would assume is a new town. At that bus depot, there's a police officer called Griff, who's making sure there's nothing unsavoury going on, and he sees the woman get off the bus, and he's attracted to her. She's very attractive, and to cut a long story short, she who is new to the town, she ends up at his place. They obviously sleep together, though we don't see this. And then it becomes evident that she wants to change her life away from being a hooker to being an accepted member of society. The policeman agrees, tells her that she can stay put that night in the room. It's possibly a room that he has rented for the night rather than his own apartment. And this sets the scene between Griff, and her name is Kelly, at the beginning of the film. The cop, Griff, tries to divert Kelly towards a girly bar across the river, seeing her as a hooker forever. Once a hooker, always a hooker. However, Kelly's got different ideas, and she's determined to change her life. And she sees this job ad, to work in a residential physically handicapped home. She's got an appealing, attractive personality, so even without qualification she gets the job and proves a hit. We see some very vivid scenes of the degree of handicap that these children have, and it really brought a tear to my eye, has to be said. But Kelly takes to it like a duck to water, and has a huge impact on both the children and the rest of the staff. However, Griff is keeping one eye open, believing that she's going to tread the old path sooner or later. Kelly then sort of meets a man and falls in love, and she's still got severe doubts about whether she can become a woman of trust. There's a tremendous scene when a fellow worker, younger than her, gets frustrated at the really poor salary offered by the home, and is tempted by the idea of going to work in the bar for what appears to be extremely generous payments for allowing her body to be penetrated. Kelly comes out and lays out in very distinct terms what that life entails, and that it's one that you lose your whole degree of self-respect in constantly having to open your legs. Then back to Kelly, who gets involved with this young admirer, and it looks likely that they're, after some soul searching, she agrees to marry him. And then we get towards the end of the movie where she then goes back to his house and catches a glimpse of him with a young child of primary age. And although we don't see it, there's an inference that possibly some sort of abuse was taking place. And she's outraged by this and ends up hitting the man, and he dies as a result of the injury. And then we move on to her being arrested and kept in the cell, and how she tries to put forward a defence with regard to her perception that he was a pervert, and that her reaction was really sort of impulsive. It's quite a good film. Enjoyed it, and it's one of Sam Fuller's classics. Absolutely tremendous black and white photography. The characters are well developed. It's a good storyline, and it's very much a sort of a film which has a message about being able to change your path in life if you're determined enough. And also it brings out the fact that some people will perceive your road, your lifestyle as rotten and can't see it ever changing. But people are surprising, and they can change for the better.